I'm Eddie Aragon, the Rock of Talk. Glad to be here with my favorite realtors and your favorite realtors, Tigo and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. You can pick up the phone and dial them directly, 448-8888. That's 448-8888. Or visit them on the #1 real estate website in the state of New Mexico. That's welcomehomeabq.com. Welcomehomeabq.com. Great week in the middle of July. Tigo, Tracy, good morning.
Good morning. A little rain this week.
Morning.
That's kind of nice. We get the monsoon back. I said to somebody the other day, I said, even the monsoon's delayed this year or something. I don't know. It's
right.
Everything's been pushed back a month, it seems like. Or maybe this is monsoon
I think
season.
the monsoon's just like we had clouds for a week, but no rain. And finally the rain came.
Yeah. So, hey, good morning, everybody. And hi, Tracy. We have a guest today. We want to talk to Jarrett about new construction. A lot of stuff going on in the real estate world. So we'll get into that here.
Lots of good stuff. Jarrett, and Jarrett, what's your last name, sir?
Saavedra.
Jarrett Saavedra here in the Kiva with Tigo and Tracy Venturi. A lot of stuff to talk about this week. You guys are going to talk about the July trend data, as well as new construction mortgage rates, along with Jarrett. Bidding wars, which is, we're hearing a lot of that, right, Tracy?
Yep.
An interesting trend in the high-end market as well. And, of course, we're going to have our Homes of the Week, as well as the Fannie Mae National Housing Survey, which will give us a broad view approach to what's happening in the national real estate market. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here on this morning, and I want to welcome Jarrett Saavedra to our show this morning. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Jarrett's a member of our real estate team, and Jarrett specializes in new construction and really knows it inside and out from the ground up for sure, right?
Yes. The past 10 years, 8 of those years, I've been working for new construction, 2 of the largest builders here in the state, D.R. Horton and Pulte.
Right. So we really appreciate you being on our show today. That's awesome. So new construction, we have various areas of town where we find new construction. Everyone thinks, well, it's just in one part of town, but we've got like Volterra and we've got Mesa del Sol.
New construction is everywhere, you guys. It's the Southeast Heights all the way to Santa Fe. I have heard some rumblings that there is going to be going to Los Alamos here fairly soon as well.
Awesome.
I think one of the key things is just really jumping on those phones, getting a hold of the Venturi Group and just letting us help you guys out the best way we can.
So good point, Jarrett. So a lot of our listeners or people in the home buying process don't realize that realtors can help them with buying new homes.
And the key thing about that too is the realtors are on the inside loop with the current incentives as well. So a lot of these builders have some specs sitting on the ground, and they offer move-in packages, landscaping packages, blinds, refrigerators, all that good stuff, which helps you save overall your liquid cash upon your move and your close.
And they don't always publicize that,
They
do
don't.
they?
They
They
don't. They
often
really
tell
don't.
us realtors about it, though.
Yeah, they very rarely publicize that stuff.
So let me just jump in and let's get a definition. A spec. What does a spec mean from obviously I know what it means, but what does that mean, to the public? When you say the builder has a spec, what does that mean?
So a spec home is something that the builder puts in speculation that they're going to sell just to a consumer who walks in the door. Pulte, for example, you can literally go pick out your lot, pick out your home, go to the design center, pick out your colors, do all that good stuff and cater the home to your needs.
Sure.
With the lack of inventory that we're having in Albuquerque right now, a lot of these builders have specs on the ground, and specs are homes that are ready to go. And these can be in various stages, anywhere from dirt to frame to completion. And on those specs, those are the ones that a lot of the builders offer incentives on, such as free refrigerators, washers, dryers, just certain things that they're offering in that particular month to help get those specs sold and off their books.
So a spec house is usually at least 30 days from done or done.
Typically, and there's always specs going up. So if somebody has some credit issues, if they need to wait to cash out on a 401k, a cosign, or anything like that, a lot of these specs, some of them are even 2 or 3 months out, where you're kind of locking in on today's price, but closing on it in 3 months. So you're securing that price and not really worrying about prices going up and that kind of good stuff as well.
Right, because when you wait to have it built, you're not locking in your interest
You're not
rate.
locking in your interest rate. But when you do build, to contradict that a little bit, when you do build, the price you lock in at when you build is secured until you close.
You're listening to Tigo and Tracy Venturi from the Venturi Real Estate Team right here on AM 1600 KIVA and 93.7 FM. Love hearing from Jarrett Saavedra. Go ahead. Take it away, Tigo.
All right, thanks. We dropped there for a minute. So Jarrett, you were talking about the homes. The thing that jumped out at me was if you put a home, what we call under contract today, right now the build process is probably taking 8 months is what I'm hearing.
Right now, I would say 7 to 8 months, just because of the lack of trades. There's no electrician shortage out there, so that's kind of dampening things a little bit and putting a delay on the build process.
Any of you, journeyman electricians, any electricians out there that are retired, man, time to jump back into it. Although I know it's hard work, and you guys. So anyway, I've heard that from a few people that shortage of electricians in particular, and in some framing I've heard as well.
Right.
But let me just get back to this whole thing about the price. So you buy today, put it under contract. That's your price, even if it's 8 months from now, and let's say you put it under contract at $5,000, when you actually close, they may have raised the price to $350. That's not unusual, right?
No, not at all. And a prime example is when I was over at Broadmoor in Rio Rancho working for Pulte. We started off with a Hewitt plan that was $239,900, and right now it's $252,990.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people that bought those first phases, that first house when they were going up, these guys literally made $12,000 equity by the time.
We're talking a couple months ago.
Couple months, yeah. And they haven't even closed on some of these properties yet. They're just secured and locked into those prices, so they're making instant equity on those properties.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. And there's Tracy. We know Jarrett. We have a shortage of homes available to buy right now. And when we say that, what we mean is there's a lot of buyer demand. Not a lot of people. There's been a slowdown in a number of people putting their homes on the market. The resale, the builders have not gone off the hook on construction. So, I mean, there's construction in the pipeline, but it's not like 2005.
No, not at all. And then one of the good things too, you guys, I don't even know if you guys know this, but a lot of the builders, the bigger builders, actually accept deals contingent upon the sale of your home. So what this allows you to even do is secure that price and let Tigo and Tracy work out the particulars of selling your property in order to complete the process. But you can actually walk into some of these builders, buy a home, say, I still need to list my home, and they're going to give you some flexibility to get your home sold and some time to get it sold as well.
And, I've had the pleasure to do that with some of our clients and be able to negotiate on their behalf. And one of the things that I've noticed when talking with the agents at the sales offices for the builders is if you don't have a realtor when you walk in the door to put your home under contract, they want to know who you're going to sell your home with before they're willing to take your home off the market, because they want to make sure you're with an agent that is going to get that home sold.
Of course. And you guys can call Tigo and Tracy in 2 seconds and we can do CMAs. We can send those over to the new construction guys, let them know what their house is worth, how quick it would sell, and just any issues that may or may not arise on that particular property.
And the CMA is a market analysis, right?
It's a market analysis based on comps in the neighborhood of what houses are selling for, cost per square footage in that particular area.
Exactly. So some of the benefits you've mentioned of working with a realtor, one of the other benefits with new construction and working with a realtor is a lot of the new construction homes aren't listed for sale in our multiple listing service, which is where most agents go to look for homes, and buyers, they go to Zillow or sites like that, and those new homes aren't necessarily showing up there.
Not a lot of them. Typically, a lot of the big builders put their specs in when they're about 90 days away from completion so they can start getting some activity on them. But again, some of these homes that might be in the foundation stage or the frame stage aren't listed as of yet. And you guys can call Tigo and Tracy, and we can get that information for you guys in a matter of minutes.
And Jarrett, they can call Jarrett Saavedra also.
Yeah.
Jarrett, you're a rock star new home specialist. What's the best number for them if they want to give you a call?
My phone number is 505-363-2784, and call anytime you guys want to.
Let me just make a recommendation for anybody thinking about shopping for new homes. Haven't found what you want in resale, let's say, but you want a new home, right? A new home is fun, right? I mean, it's cool to move into a new home and it's all new and it's like the new car smell, right?
Yeah.
It's the new home smell, right? It's your home. I highly recommend that you work with a realtor to help you through that process. Because understand, if you go into new home sales office, their job is to sell that builder.
Yes.
Right. if you have an advocate on your side, a buyer's agent that's, independent of the builder, they can show you a bunch of different neighbors, help you through the process. No cost to somebody that's buying a home to do that. So really consider it. And it's just somebody that's your advocate on your side, right, Tracy?
Yeah. And what you're saying, Tigo, is so true, because sometimes we have people and they go out for a drive and they see the banners and the flags and they see a new home sales office and they stop in, but they don't know that maybe a mile down the road, there's some other options too, maybe a different builder or even the same builder, because we know that Pulte, D.R. Horton, Twilight, Westway, Hakes Brothers, they all have different neighborhoods all over the city. So you might stop in at one and they may or may not have what you need. But, having a realtor that really knows new construction and all the different builders and where they're at and what price points they are can save you a lot of time and make you aware of things you may not have otherwise known about. So.
And sometimes as well, you guys, those purchase agreements sometimes are 40 to 50 pages. It's benefits you to contact us to help you decipher some of that verbiage, exactly timelines, when they're set, expectations, and just getting everything in line and just a successful closing.
And it goes back to what you originally said, which was, we know about the different incentives and deals that are out there.
Yes.
And can help people find those things. So anyway, again, Jared, thanks for joining us today. We really want to work for anybody that's looking to buy a home. I mean, that's what we do. We're applying for the job every day, right?
That's right. And this is Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with Tigo and Tracy Venturi.
I think we need a better name. I've been listening to all these podcasts, Tracy, that have some cool name to their podcast. And I'm like, we need something better. But Albuquerque Real Estate Talk pretty much says what it is. I mean, it's
we're way more than Albuquerque though, right? Our team services so many areas outside of Albuquerque. So you're right.
Okay.
And I was like saying last week,
I gotta get it. Go ahead.
Coast to coast, really. We're on,
Yeah. Well, we're on Eddie Station.
Coast to coast. So we're really coast to coast. So
ABQ
Tigo, I know you have very, very, very exciting news. I bet it's a stat.
I couldn't believe this. I could not believe this. And I should know better. And I don't know how I missed this, but okay, I'm gonna put this to you first, Tracy. Is we've seen just on the team, and you're out in the field. We've seen a lot of activity in the higher end market in Albuquerque. What
higher end meaning?
Well, what we consider
higher sales price.
There's different terms. People say the luxury market, the high end market, whatever it is. But generally, the industry standard is it's the top. I forget. I think it's 10% of whatever the high end is, or whatever the high price is generally considered a luxury market. So in Albuquerque area, Metro Albuquerque, that's $500,000 and above, give or take. Okay?
So do you have a stat for that? Something?
So if you look at so we've seen a lot of activity, Tracy. We've got a couple higher end homes on the market, and we've seen really good activity. And the thing that really was interesting is I'm like, it seems like it's really busy. So I pulled up the number. Get this. So April, obviously there's a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, that was across the board. That was in all price ranges. But in May, we saw a 15% increase in the number of the luxury homes receiving and going under contract, receiving an offer, going under contract. That's 15% over May last year, not April. I don't even know what the May number was. It was a big jump, but 15%. But get this, for June of this year, we had 157% increase in the number of luxury homes going pending. I know.
Is that a typo?
I know. It's not a typo. I know.
157%
I had
increase.
to clarify that on my Twitter post and my Facebook post about that. It's not a typo. So we went from June last year, 58 homes that were in that luxury market that went under contract. In 2020, we had 149, 100 homes over 500,000. And I ran July, just the first 20 days here that I could get so far. July so far, we've had an 84% increase in the number of homes going under contract. Again,
that's month over month.
And that high end, correct. That's there's definitely something going on in the high end market in Albuquerque. I mean, like I said, we've seen it. I mean, even though we're a huge team, we're whatever 1.5% 5% market share, we're still only 1.5% market share, right? We're the biggest team in Albuquerque, the biggest team in New Mexico. We've seen it, but then when you actually like look at the entire market, all 3,800 realtors in Albuquerque, you go, holy cow, that market is on fire.
So interesting, because as you know, I've been frenetic the last week
Yes,
working with a buyer and a seller.
Yep.
Buyers working on buying a house that was priced over $1 million. And they had multiple offers on that property. And it was only on the market, like for sure, that I was aware of. And I was one of the buyer's agents for them. And my client actually got that home under contract. And then I was also working for a seller on a house that was just a hair under $1 million listing. And we had four offers on that property. So, we talk on our show regularly about how difficult it is for those buyers under 300,000 or under 200,000 because everything goes to multiple offers. Well, talking to all the agents who are also out there showing the houses I was working with the last week and a half or so, they were also saying, well, my client's already missed out on 3 homes. They really want this one. And
so I want to talk about maybe a trend that we're seeing. We don't know for sure. Obviously, you never know a trend until after the fact and you can look back at it. However, Jane, your sister, who's great real estate agent here on our team, and she has a client and they're from the Bay Area, and you want to tell that story, Tracy? I think it's interesting without giving too much. The fact that they're Bay Area, right? Like, California, and they're
what they can afford here.
Well, and they've realized it's like, well, we can work from anywhere. They have family in Albuquerque area.
Right. So they have a brother in Corrales or a relative in Corrales, and they visit and spend a month here every year. And now with the whole virus, their whole work has gone virtual, and they've always wanted to move here, but needed to keep working. And so now they are able to work from anywhere. So they're in the market, and our prices here compared to San Francisco, what they have there is significantly more money that they'll be selling, and they'll be buying a luxury home here and feeling like they won the lottery. It's
going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next year or so in this. I mean, there's obviously been a lot of conversation about work from home. Last week we talked about on the show here, we talked about the trend, the remodeling trend, where people are not just remodeling the kitchen which is obviously the popular remodel, but now they're really thinking about that home office. Okay, there's not a lot of remodeling you can do, quote. It's not like remodeling a kitchen, you're going to remodel the home office, but there's definitely a trend for people thinking about that home office space. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
So interesting conversation about the momentum. I would suspect, Tigo, and I don't have any stats or any lender information, but I would suspect that interest rates being so low has something to do with people affording those higher priced houses and locking in that low interest rate.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, you have a story.
Well, no, you just said interest rates. Interest rates hit another all-time low. Now they're solid under 3% in most cases.
Right.
I mean, it's
adds so much affordability. If you're thinking of buying a house, you can afford more right now or have a lower payment than you would have a month ago.
So Tracy, let me pull up that chart that you had. I put it on our Facebook page that talks about what the difference is from a $300,000.
Did you put that on there?
I did. I put it on there the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great visual, right?
Go ahead. Let's talk about some homes. I know you.
I want to talk about. We have 2 open houses today from 11 to 1, both of them. So if you're looking for something to go do right away, from 11 to 1 today, we have the house in at 9525 Giddings Avenue Northeast, open from 11 to 1. That house is in Heritage East. It's La Cueva School District. It's a single story for $355,000, open from 11 to 1. Again, that's 9525 Giddings Avenue, because I kind of said that first before I said all the rest. La Cueva, single story, $355,000, 9525 Giddings. Of course, you can get on our website, Welcome Home ABQ. All the open houses in the whole market, not just ours, are listed there. So welcome to do that. One other that we have, first time open, will be 10900 Farola Northwest. This is in the 7 Bar North neighborhood. And It's a 2,275 square feet, 4 bedrooms, Sivage Thomas built home. It's listed for $320,000. It's also open from 11 to 1, being hosted by Andrew Medina. He's always a pleasure. So go by and see him at 10900 Farola Northwest. So those are the 2 hot open houses we have, and they're both today, 11 to 1.
Good. So I'm looking for
the
chart because I thought I had posted and I hadn't, but here it is. So when you go through this, Tracy,
didn't see it, Tigo.
So I know that
so a mortgage payment.
You have to explain this because we're looking at a chart.
I know a mortgage payment for a $300,000 house by decade. So the loan amount by decade. So in the 1970s, the average interest rate was 8.86, which made your mortgage payment $2,384. I'm not going to go through year by year. Post this on our Facebook page.
I will.
And people can
find it there. I thought I did.
There.
I posted on Instagram, not on Facebook, but
find it on Insta, whatever. So today, in 1970s, a $300,000 house would cost you $2,384 a month. Today, the interest rate's right around 3%. That same mortgage payment would be $1,270, more than $1,000 less.
Even if you compare that to just like last
2010,
year,
1,448 based at 4.09% interest rate.
So we bumped up almost to 5% at one point last year.
We did,
and now we're back, 3%. So even 4 to 5, that's
in March. Tigo, we
about
jumped up over
a month.
$4. Yeah, it's $200 a month difference from the interest rates from just recently over 4%, just over 4 to what it would be today. But think about that. A $300,000 house in 1970s would have been very unaffordable for most people, right?
You think about
$2,384 payment because the interest rate was so much higher then.
Yeah, but to be fair, homes weren't $300,000 house in the 70s. That was a pretty palatial house, but no, it's just comparing. It's just a comparison, right?
It's just a comparison saying if the interest rates were that now, you'd be paying $2,384 instead of $1,270. In 1968, when my parents bought our Minnesota farm, they paid $29,000 for it.
Wow.
40 acres. And I bet their interest rate was close to this. So, anyway.
So I think that's interesting. Tracy, there's a challenge in our market right now for home buyers, correct?
There is.
And it's not just our market. Honestly, it's all over the country. I'm hearing it from all different places.
Challenge is we have more buyers in the market than we have home sellers, and we don't have enough even new construction homes ready. We have a client, Eddie, that put a house under contract last week to have Pulte build them a brand new house, and the house won't be ready till next April.
Wow.
And
that's a significant time to wait, but it's, I've been through that process before, and it's well worth the wait. I think it's always good to make sure that you get everything you want. And what's the great thing about people like Pulte, KB Homes, Toll Brothers, whoever it happens to be, they're really good at making sure that their customers are ultimately satisfied. And you get to go point by point, and everything's brand new right from the very top. So that's the advantage, too. You get to lock it in where it's at. That's the question for both of you. Do they get to lock in the interest rates, or is it sliding?
The interest rate is not locked in until about 45 days before you're supposed to close on the house. But you are locking in the price of the home.
I don't know if you caught that earlier, Eddie. We were talking about how, what we're seeing and currently is, the Pulte had a neighborhood where they're selling homes around $230 when they first started, and just 2 months later they're selling them for like $250.
Just
boy, those were the days. I bought a house in 2001 in a brand new development, and there was actually bids on my house if I wanted to go ahead and sell it and trade it up. So, which was also very interesting. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I didn't know anything at the time, but these honestly, are the types of situations that. What's that?
That was happening a lot back in 04, 05. But I will say, this is not 04, 05. You and I have talked about that, Eddie. And this is not 04, 05, 06, 07,
right.
08. This is very different.
Much healthier, more stable market. Go ahead, Tracy.
Absolutely.
So Pulte opened a new neighborhood called Inspiration. It's right at the base of the petroglyphs over on the west side. So it's a brand new neighborhood very beautiful homes, and they've been open for 8 weeks, and none of them are even started. They just started breaking ground on their first houses. So that's a lot of people that are buying new homes that won't be ready to move into till next spring. And it's an awesome community. So interesting to know that.
That is a hot market. I love to hear that. That's really something. By the way, last 4 minutes, guys, here of the show. And I don't know that we've ever seen a market this good and this affordable at the very same time, that there's just a lack of opportunity, just not just on the sales side. I mean, if these builders, they could build more, they would certainly do it. And, you know, this just is a good time to just make sure everybody knows this is probably the best time, dare I say, ever to sell your home. Right, Tracy?
You know, it really is. I can't think of a better time in my 20-year career to sell your home. You know,
I go back and look at data historically in Albuquerque. I can't think of either. I mean, you could maybe make the argument 05, 06 probably. We peaked out sometime in 07, I guess it was. And we had a much steeper increase going into that. Again, that's one of the reasons this is much healthier than then. But man, I mean, there, you know, if you're looking to sell, give us a shout.
Call us
We'll
now.
get you taken care of. And it doesn't mean, and, you know, we can still make sure you get top dollar, do all the great marketing, do all the things that need to happen to merchandise and get your home the top dollar. Just because the market's hot doesn't mean everything sells at any price. That, you know, that's not a thing. You know, Eddie, I don't know if you caught my earlier stat that I pulled out, but it was in June. Get this, in June, I looked at homes over $500,000, which is considered our luxury market. From June of last year to June of this year, we had 157% increase in pending sales.
Yeah, I did hear that. That was pretty incredible.
Month over month, I mean, June over June, not year to date versus year to date. June over June.
Even if we look at, so let's say April, April, we had the worst month in like forever, right? In April. But even with April, and then we look at April, May, June, we still had a 23% increase over those 3 months versus those 3 months last year in that high-end market. So
where's the bad economy? Where's the bad economy? That is unbelievable. Those numbers are unbelievable.
I think some of it's out of state money. I think some of it's just the interest rates are so good that people are going, well, I can afford that $500,000, $600,000 house now.
Yep.
You know, I think people are going, well, I want to work from home. I need more room. I want a bigger house. I think there's a combination of things going on that's driving that.
Not to mention the unbelievably low interest rates. That's also very important. Yep. And you compound it with the last 3.5 years prior to COVID-19 of maybe the greatest economy. We were approaching 30,000 in the Dow Jones Industrial Market that we have ever seen in our lifetimes. Tigo and Tracy, how can people get a hold of you?
Reach us at our hotline, we call it, our phone. It's 505-448-8888. And our website is welcomehomeabq.com. If you like data, guess what? I maintain the website, so that means there's a ton of stats on there. And it's, again, welcomehomeabq.com, and we're with Keller Williams Realty here in Albuquerque.
There you go, folks. There they are. They are the best. Tigo and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. You can pick up the phone and dial them directly, 448-8888. That's 448-8888. Or welcomehomeabq.com. That's welcomehomeabq.com. Back after a quick break. More great talk. When we return, we're going to get you qualified. But first, we're going to improve your credit next. That's with Mike Ramos.